In order to get back to bed, he had to give me the part. So I ended up in the movie.
Yeah. Pretty much overwhelmed by whatever it was you did there, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, and then you got out. Did you at the airport? People say, "Look, I'll leave this guy here. I'm going into town." Well, really, and they go for that.
Yeah, it was cool. He knew who I was. He had all my records.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the band a little bit. Tell me about the origins of this group.
We're all from different parts of the world. Our drummer's an American from Washington. I'm from the north of England. Our guitarist from the south of England. We all met in London on a studio session. By accident. Fate.
How long ago was this?
This was about 6 years ago. Yeah. We were all starving.
But once the Police became a group, it was you did things in an unorthodox manner, didn't you? It was not like other...
We couldn't work in England because nobody wanted to hear us, so we decided to pull a scam and go to America. So the people came to see us purely out of curiosity, wondering why on earth a group of Englishmen would come and play in Poughkeepsie or Des Moines, you know, and they would come. And then we went back to England with a lie that we'd made it in America.
So you were a huge hit in America.
And so that we got work on the strength of that, and then we, somewhere along the line, had a hit record by accident.
No, you seem to be making very little of all of this, but...
it was all a series of accidents and contricts, and here I am talking to you.
Now, the first... Another hideous accident. The first time you came to this country, was that when you were touring with stolen equipment? Is that true?
Who told you that?
I read that this afternoon.
We borrowed it.
Uh-huh.
We rented a, we stole a station wagon.
You stole a station wagon?
And stole some drums, and we went around the country asking if they wanted to hear us.
Again, these are really good tips for any kids out there who want to start a group of their own, get into the country illegally and start stealing things.
You think they'll deport me now, having admitted that?
No, I don't think so. Well, no, you've been in the country in and out illegally. I don't think so. It sounds to me like you're pretty much operating...
I'm a good guy. I mean,
yeah.
you know, social.
And then you started, the deal with the record company was, that was also a little unorthodox, wasn't it?
Well, we said to them, we don't need any money.
Yeah.
Just put
No, as long as you're stealing things, who needs money? Pretty much incidental.
So they put our record out, and it was a hit.
Yeah, and you've traveled to some places that heretofore have not been the popular rock and roll venues, huh?
Peoria?
No. I was thinking more like Bombay.
Oh, yes. we played some very, very exotic places.
Yeah. What was it like in Bombay?
Nothing like Peoria.
No.
Actually, if I have to remember a gig for my life, the greatest one was Bombay, because we played to people who'd never seen rock and roll, never heard it, so the reaction was completely spontaneous, and it confirmed my belief in it as a form. Because when you play in New York or Chicago, people know what to expect and they know what to do. It's a ritual of kind, and it's nice, but it's not as effective as playing to people who've never heard it. So by the end of the concert in Bombay, we had a stage invasion and a riot. And
oh, that's great. So the full education for them there.
Absolutely. All in one night.
Had there ever been any popular music performed in Bombay before you guys?
Apparently not. We were the first group to actually play there.
And they had heard of you?
No.
Well, how did they know to buy tickets?
Well, it was curiosity. Again, it was like when we went to America. They wondered what on earth was happening. I mean, you know, 3 blonde people turn up with loud instruments and start to play. They were just curious.
Yeah.
And the whole of Bombay turned up. The police chief was there, the Lord Mayor, the fire chief, and all these beggars, and it was wonderful.
Now, you guys, you mentioned your blonde hair. And I understand that this was not the color you were necessarily born with.
No.
Now, what was the point in all three of you suddenly changing hair color?
I'm trying to think of a good lie for you. We just figured it was a good idea one day, we'd all go blonde. We're all redheads, really. Actually, redheads.
And it's worked out pretty well for you.
Worked out great.
I know this is a question I'm silly to ask. I feel silly. What's the matter?
An itch.
Oh.
Could you scratch?
Well, let me see. Right there? That was more fun than I thought it was going to be. Do you mind if I ask you about your name? I know the origin of the name, but it's hard to have a man named Sting and not ask him why his name is Sting, you know?
Well, the clean version is it's a nickname I was given at school by someone who had a sense of humor. I used to wear these pullovers, I think you call them here, with stripes on, like a bumblebee. It was black and yellow, and I looked like a bumblebee, and he called me Sting. And everybody who got to know me after that called me Sting. My mother calls me Sting.
Yeah.
My family.
Yeah.
She does call me Sting. The band are laughing.
Yeah, but that's, you know, they would have done that anyway.
They're a good group, actually.
It was a pleasure meeting you, and continued success. Not that you need any more success. You're already world-famous rock and roll band. Thank you very much for being here. Sting. We'll be right back, folks.